But I'd like to ask you about the one play, if you could boil it down after watching the film. Could you give us that one signature play for Caleb that stood out the most to you? You said, man, that's a hell of a throw. That's a hell of a play by Caleb.
Wow. There's always a handful, Jonathan, of in every game. And then there's some that you look at and you go, wow, I mean, really? I think I think the scramble that put them ahead was, and I always talk about situational awareness, and I've been critical of Caleb in a lot of instances because of some of the decision making. I thought I was complimentary of him against the Bengals when he tucked and run instead of going out of bounds. He got the first down because he valued the full set of downs, new set of downs, more than he did the timeout, which I thought was the right decision. But I think I saw a lot of people talking about on that final run. Well, he had somebody open. I think he had Zacchaeus maybe coming across the field open.
He did.
Yeah, but you're rolling left and you're having to kind of open your hips and throw the ball instead of rolling to your strong, your throwing arm. You're rolling away from your throwing arm into the boundary. That, to me, the risk-reward wasn't worth it when he knew he could get the edge. I thought he made the exact perfect decision, and it's not, it's not outcome bias. I thought it was the right decision at the time. In fact, I thought the play call, and these Giants, they're very aggressive, but they're very undisciplined. They desperately, so badly want to get to the quarterback. I don't think that they stay in any of their rush lanes. And they got caught a bunch trying to do that spin move and then come to the inside. I think as soon as Caleb thought he got the edge, he knew he could beat them to the corner. I thought that was great situational awareness, and I thought that was just him making a play. I'll tell you this, Jonathan. I could go back and look at 2 or 3 other plays where he was in the grasps of some pretty strong, big defensive guys, and they couldn't get him down.
Yeah, like Dexter Lawrence.
Yeah, so I get it. He's not a 6'5", 240-pound quarterback. That dude is strong and stout, and he's got tree trunks for legs. And not only is he faster than you think he is, he's stronger than you think he is. So, I guarantee you, Brian Flores is telling his guys this week, hey, first of all, you have to be disciplined. If Caleb Williams is going to break contain or he's going to get away from you and have to tuck and run, he's got to go through the middle of our defense. You can't let him get to the edge because there's too much evidence that he's going to burn you with that. So I think that not only is Brian Flores is going to preach discipline with your rush lanes, he's going to tell you if you get your hands on him, don't take it for granted because he's going to shake you.
Yeah,
so I would say that play, and it wasn't even a throw. I mean, I could look also the throw he made to Zacchaeus in the end zone. I mean, that's a fantastic throw. I mean, people are arguing about whether there was a time that he could have thrown it earlier. Look, it's easy for us to sit and watch film and put ourselves. Oh, if I was no. I mean, look, things are going fast. The at the end of the day, he did make a beautiful throw on the run in the end zone, and your receiver's got to make the catch. That was probably one of the best throws I've seen or I saw the last couple of weeks.
Tommy,
No. I'm sorry. I'll go back, Jonathan. I apologize. The play that I was most impressed with was the 16-yard curl or the 15-yard curl to Luther Burden. This is the stuff that gives me the football tingles. So if you watch this play.
On the last drive, right?
Yeah, Burden, I love this kid. I think his ceiling is really high. I think he's got DJ strength and the ability to really run the entire route.
Amon-Ra?
Yeah, I heard, Alex made that. I think he's right. I think Alex Brown said, he thinks he reminds him of Amon-Ra. I think he's Amon-Ra. He can be. But I think he probably has a gear that gets him a little faster down the field maybe than Amon-Ra. But listen, you're not in St. Brown's category until you prove you're in St. Brown's category. But anyway, Jonathan, he runs that curl route, and he does it with a little flinch. So he's already got the Giants cornerback not knowing, hey, is this going to be a curl route? Is this going to be an out route? Is this going to be a stop and go? So he runs the route with that little twitchy kind of move, and then when he gets to the top of his break, the ball's been out. The ball's in the air. And he turns around and it's right on him. And I know that, most people just take that for granted. But a football nerd like me watching the film, when I see that ball come out of Caleb's hands and and Luther isn't even to the the point where he's turning for the football. That's just that's football artistry for me. So that was probably my favorite play.
More with the great Gregory Thomas Waddle. When we come back, we'll get his thoughts on this Viking matchup. Break down this matchup for us.
Yeah, first of all, I want to say your guys' show is fantastic for a lot of reasons, and one is because Cap, you play the straight man and you don't even know it, and it's just hilarious.
Thank you.
Yeah, like I know you don't even know it, and Jonathan just slides in and I thank you. Yes, I am here, and I giggle to myself every time. So thank you guys for providing me
Comic relief.
the comic relief.
Thank you, Tommy.
Yeah, you're welcome.
This dude to my left, who I love like a brother, he just
And he picks up everything that you say, whether you're 100,000%. Yeah.
And he just, when the time is right, I get slapped. That's okay.
You're
I'm
the
good
straight
with it.
man without knowing that you're playing the straight man.
That's
I get
correct.
It.
That's correct.
Listen, I
What does he
respect
mean
this.
by that? Cut it up, Tyler. What did he mean?
I respect.
7:53.
I expect this. 7 before the hour. I respect this Vikings team. Obviously, they went to Detroit a couple of weeks ago and beat a good Lions team. Obviously, there's so much talent, as you recited, Cap. But I think this is a good matchup for the Bears at this particular time. Offensively, this is his 5th start. He may turn out to be the next, Tom Brady, but it's not going to happen overnight. You watch the film and. He's having some accuracy issues. He completes less than 55% of his passes. He's struggling to take care of the football. He's turned it over 8 times, 6 interceptions and 2 fumbles. So I'd be tackling the football. The one thing that you have to obviously be aware of is they've got so much talent on the edge. It only takes one play for Justin Jefferson to give you a little hitch and go and get behind Nashawn Wright. And all you got to do is drop it in the bucket. Same with Addison. Same with Hawkinson. You got to make sure that not having T.J. Edwards, if he's not available, is really going to hurt because Aaron Jones is a veteran back who's outstanding in the passing game. Runs those little Texas routes and those arrow routes and can be a really vital weapon for them. They don't protect the quarterback. I think they've given up 34 sacks. I don't think there's more than 2 or 3 teams that have given up more. So, I can poke holes in a lot of what they do. Ben Johnson has had success against Brian Flores defenses while respecting the hell out of them. No Grenard. They're not taking the ball away. They don't have a high sack rate. They're middle of the pack stopping the run. So, the one thing I would say to you is that they're 4-5. They're at home. They're dangerous because they need to win this game. But I like the matchup. I like this matchup. The Bears going to Minnesota to face this version of the Vikings. I'm less scared of the Vikings in their building than I have been in a few years.
Tommy,
that makes sense.
Yes, absolutely. Tommy, I need some help regarding the Bears' defense against the run. Maybe it's something I'm not seeing, but again, the numbers are the numbers. Yeah. The Bears' defense surrendered 169 yards in the ground, and a lot of that from Jackson Dart with his 66 and his 2 touchdowns. When I was telling Cap, and I say this with the untrained eye, I just think that this is going to be a tough matchup for the Bears secondary against the Vikings weapons because when Tyreek Stevenson and others are playing, a million miles off the ball and there's no push or no kind of bump, that's a problem. I had a problem with that against the Giants. So how can the defense be able to stop the run and also be a little bit more physical against the receivers coming out?
Yeah, let's start with the run first. I think not having T.J. Edwards is a huge loss for some of the reasons I mentioned in the passing game, but he's a sure tackler. He's smart. He's in the right hole. I think Sewell's got a lot of talent, but I think he had a rough go of it on Sunday. It's just a drop-off. I mean, when you play backups at times, there's going to be a drop-off.
Do you think that unnecessary roughness on him, which I thought was a bad call, but if you're going to call that, you got to call the knee to the head of Caleb, do you think that affected him?
Did it affect Sewell? I think
going
affected
beyond
Jackson
that.
First of all, I think it's an unfortunate call, but listen, if a defensive player knocks a quarterback's helmet off, there's a really good chance, Cap, the flag's coming out.
Yeah, but the helmet was coming off when that was like the 85 Bears met at the quarterback.
Listen, I get the frustration. It was unfortunate, but Sewell made contact with his helmet, and you're going to get flagged for that. Fair or unfair, that's just the nature of the beast. You got to strap it on and play the next play.
What's that? You were saying about the Bears' defense against the run.
Yeah. So, like Jonathan, I think you got to stay in your lanes. You got to tackle. I think there are so many things about this defense that really leave you a little bit nervous. I think I think also, listen, as much hell as I've given a Dengbo as a pass rusher, he does help in the run defense, and not having him, does hurt you a little bit. Getting Edwards back, I think, would definitely help. I'm with you, Jonathan, with regard to there's only so long that you can cover. And if I was an opposing offensive coordinator, I would double move the hell out of these Bears corners. And it's just that's the reality. I think Nashawn Wright has done some really good things, but I think he's vulnerable to hitch and goes and stuff like that because he plays the game very aggressively. If you can protect for a certain bit of time, I don't think that you're out over your skis saying that the Vikings receivers have an edge over the Bears secondary at this point. So pass rush is going to be really important. If I was, I think Dennis Allen's got a more difficult challenge every game because he's got less to work with than Ben does. Mm-hmm. So I would expect what they're going to try to do, Jonathan, is sit back like I think what they did in the Dallas game and try to keep everything in front of you. Limit the big plays, the explosives, and force a young, inexperienced quarterback to have to take you the length of the field on a consistent basis. Because, as I said, there are problems with this group. They had 8 false starts last week. JJ has had some turnover issues. Make them go on 75 and 80-yard drives to beat you. Don't get caught with your football shorts down on stick and moves and let them get behind you and make big plays. And the other thing, Jonathan, is if you play a lot of man and your corners are their backs are to the quarterback, the one thing that JJ is just like Jackson Dart, he can move. Like he is an elusive, athletic quarterback who I think can make you pay with his legs as well. So I think you got to keep your eyes, don't turn your back and keep everything in front of you. And like I said, just make them grind it out and go the length of the field.
A score prediction as we let you go.
I like the same score as last week. I like this matchup, as I said. I think it's going to be a grind. I don't think there are going to be any easy Sundays for this Bears team, but they're learning ways to win games. I think it's Bears get the victory in Minnesota 24-20.
Tommy, have a wonderful day. We appreciate you. It's one of the highlights of our week.
I love you guys. Thanks for having me.
We love you. We love your knowledge, too. You're the man.